Japan, Pot 79. In contemporary societies so rent by disruptive centrifugal forces, it also vastly underestimates the value of groups being sufficiently aware of large interests to be willing to sacrifice short-range egoistic interest for the long-term general good. Fair shares. At the risk of oversimplification, one may say that a fundamental underlying rule of the American political life may be characterized as fair play, contrasted with the base rules of the Japanese political life, fair share. In America, one must follow the rules of the game. If the game is fought fairly, the loser, being good sport, congratulates the winner, and to the winner belong the spoils. In political elections, as in many other spheres, the winner takes the pie. In Japan, aside from the sports tournaments, there are rarely such clear-cut contests. Even before the contest is concluded, the Japanese may look at the pie to see if it can be expanded, to see how many ways it can be cut, to see what acceptable rules can be devised for apportioning it. However, they are interested not only in rules but in results, and the rules may be changed to accord with a sense of fair share. After the contest, everyone must receive some share. If there is reasonable doubt as to how one contest was decided, or if an indivisible pie is given to one party, the disadvantaged party has a standing claim to a larger share of the next pie. In the elections to the lower house of the Diet, each district selects 3 to 5 representatives, almost assuring that some opposition parties and members of the rival factions in the LDP will have representation. LDP politicians may scheme to keep their party in the solid majority, but they do not believe it desirable to eliminate opposition. When the largest companies apportion their political contributions, they try to ensure good connections with every political leader who has a reasonable chance of becoming Prime Minister. To this end, they contribute more heavily to the most promising faction of the Liberal Democratic Party, but they also give some to all major opposition parties, with the possible exception of the Communist Party, where there is no clear evidence of such gifts. If in fact the Communist Party receives no contribution from such large companies, it is not because companies refuse, but because the Communist Party wants to remain independent and can do so from money it earns from the publications. Similarly, after the Liberal Democratic Party selects the Prime Minister, he in turn must assemble a cabinet balancing the different LDP factions and ensuring that each is represented. Although opposition party leaders have not yet been included in the cabinet, they are nonetheless consulted to bind their roots before their important mayors are considered in the Diet. Grandstanding by LDP leaders is carefully resisted. If public rhetoric is dull and almost inarticulate, it is nonetheless carefully worded to minimize the danger of giving offense to anyone, including opposition leaders. Mayors that pass the Diet are like the rhetoric often filled with vague generalization